Appalachian Culture. According to the Appalachian Region Commission, or the ARC, this includes 13 states along the spine of the Appalachian Mountains. It reaches from southern New York to northeastern Mississippi and the northern reaches of Alabama and Georgia. The states of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Ohio are mostly encompassed by the Appalachian region. With many of us on the East Coast, there's a high chance we'll be treating many people from this region. Appalachian people tend to live a modest and simple life. They tend to be more satisfied when just their basic needs are met: shelter, food, and transportation. When people of Appalachian culture have extravagant things, others in the community may think that they are trying to be better than others, which is unfortunately frowned upon. Because they are isolated in the Appalachian Mountains, they tend to be very independent people and rely heavily on the community. They love to play group games, make homemade objects, storytell, and make home and herbal remedies. Clogging and flatfoot dancing, tool making, basket making, and quilting are popular activities. They live close to nature and tend to live a lifestyle that is closely related to God. Denominations predominantly found in the Appalachian region are Presbyterian, Methodist, Baptist, and Fundamentalist. Fundamentalist practices include handling poisonous serpents, fire, and drinking poisonous solutions. Many people of Appalachia turn to religion in order to overcome an illness instead of seeking appropriate health care. People of the Appalachian culture are geographically isolated, so they are less likely to be exposed to current trends in everyday speech. Therefore, clinicians may need to clarify the meaning of phrases or reword descriptions of health problems or diagnoses. It is very important to use person-first language and use appropriate tone to ensure complete understanding and to avoid offending them. For example, rather than saying, "What did you do this past weekend?" a person from Appalachia might phrase it as, "Hope you had a good time this weekend," in order to take the attention of the person and on to the activity. Diet and lifestyle choices have a significant effect on how the body operates. Their diet tends to be high in fats, salts, fried foods, and carbohydrates. Like all cultures, people from Appalachia have many health disparities. They experience higher rates of chronic illness and mortality from the major causes of death when compared to the rest of the country. They have a high premature mortality rate in the 35 to 64 age group. We have chosen a few to talk about that we believe can be improved by compassionate care from physical therapy. This includes cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, chronic kidney disease, and obesity. Because of the lack of opportunity for both jobs and education, people in Appalachia tend to live below the poverty line. Because they live below the poverty line, opportunities for optimal nutrition and health care are limited. Cancer mortality rates are more prevalent in this region than the rest of the country. Cancers of the cervix, colon, rectum, and lungs are more common in this area. Tobacco, inactivity, sexual behaviors, and an unhealthy diet and obesity are big contributors related to cancer. Tobacco is a large contributor due to patients having some personal relationship with tobacco, such as production, sales, and use. Tobacco is responsible for 50% of the cancer in this region. Mining is also a main employer of the region, therefore leading to the increased rate of lung cancer and occupational exposures. People in this region engage in sexual intercourse at an earlier age than 18, have 2 or more sexual partners, and have a history of STDs. The prevalence of cancer screening is significantly lower among Appalachian than non-Appalachian adults. Central Appalachia has high rates of hospitalization for cardiovascular disease. The mortality rate from heart disease was 4 times the National Healthy People 2010 goal, and roughly 15% of hospitalizations in Appalachia areas are due to heart disease. People in Appalachian areas can be at high risk for chronic kidney disease. High incidences of diabetes and high blood pressure are just some of the comorbidities associated with chronic kidney disease. Again, there is a growing occurrence of obesity, sedentary lifestyles, and poor nutritional habits, which contribute to the incident rate of kidney disease. Because of the coal mining industry, there is a higher risk of occupational exposures to mercury and cadmium. Many patients go undiagnosed due to the lack of access to health care and other health options. Men tend to make major decisions in the family, such as delaying timely health care decisions until family members can be consulted, seeking folk healers instead of licensed clinicians, and seeing health issues as part of God's will. Geographic isolation limits access to healthcare facilities, and patients may not have reliable transportation to routine appointments. There are many things to keep in mind when in a physical therapy setting with people from the Appalachian region. Patient education is going to be key when working with this population. Many of them have not seen a healthcare clinician before, so educating them on their condition as well as why you are doing the activities will be important. We need to come up with creative ways to cue these patients to see the importance and benefits of regularly attending physical therapy services. They also tend to have a stoic demeanor, and therefore, as a clinician, we need to be able to pick up on nonverbal cues and their reaction during treatment for any pain that they might be having. Because of their simplistic lifestyle, it is important to use patience and not hurry clients when explaining exercises and during treatment time. Be aware that some patients may choose to have a religious text nearby or allow church members to visit since they are considered family in the Appalachian culture. Since illness is viewed as God's will and healing is a sign of forgiveness, patients may not be compliant with a home exercise program. As always, be conscious of our patient's belief and fully explain what you are going to do before you do it.